Okay, today I'm taking today's class to again for Sensor. Today we'll discuss a little bit advanced sensor, but I'll take again reference of optical sensor as oximeter. In oximeter, we have seen yesterday that there are two LEDs on top which are having different wavelength. The LEDs used were, one was operating at IR, which is generally in your TV remote, AC remote, they all operate at IR, infrared frequency. And the second LED used was operating at red color visible range. It means these two LEDs are having two different wavelengths. We have seen yesterday also that if we insert our finger into cavity of oximeter, two LED rays are getting transmitted through our finger. It means the light waves are able to travel through our finger, and at the bottom of the finger you must have seen that there are photodiodes embedded into that particular system. It means that at bottom, whatever the light being transmitted from top of the finger, these photodiodes are able to receive them. It is only possible if the light can pass through our flesh or our blood cells. RBC cells are there. So the objective was to measure the oxygen saturation, which is a constituent part of hemoglobin. There are two veins in our fingers, as you have seen, it was depicted in the diagram. One is for incoming blood, one is for outgoing blood. The blood is being pumped through the heart. So veins and artery bloods. Now, based on refractive index of the finger, the light scattering will take place, and the scattering S11, S21, S22, S21, these are the scattering parameters. These scattering parameters will be different for two different capillaries. Means one is inlet, one is outlet. And based on those ratios, we are able to evaluate the saturation in terms of percentage. And generally for healthy person, it has been already observed by a medical board that 95 to 100%, if the reading is there, it means the person is healthy and oxygen intake is sufficient enough, which is required for the human body. If it is less than 95%, it means the oxygen, the amount of oxygen or oxygen saturation is less. So we could predict, or we could estimate, or we could measure the amount of oxygen available in human body through these optical sensors, and without any hassle, and that to be in real time. So it is a wonderful instrumentation being developed as a optical sensor by a Japanese scientist, Aoki. So who's he was engineer. He has got excellent commendations on his research. Now, after that, lot many people they made their contribution to towards optimization, towards error removal, towards simplification. So research is still continuing. Oximeter, though oximeter is available in the market, but to make it more simplistic, to make it more accurate, to add on more functionalities, people are still working on this. So today, one advanced version I have taken as an example if you see this particular PPT slide is visible to you, there is a ring of light blue color, and this ring, if you see this ring, at bottom there are two white patches, and on top there are four patches. Two are pink color or red color and two are green color. So these two you can just see it is just like a skin. So nowadays the electronics, consumer electronics, has become very lightweight, less power consumption, and wearable. So you can just place this ring on your finger, you can move on anywhere, and you will be able to get your notifications of your these heart parameter as well as your oxygen parameters on even on move. If you are moving with the aircraft, you will be able to get it. If you are moving with train, you will be able to get it. So that is the simplicity. The researchers who are working in this domain, they have obtained. How it is being obtained, I am going to talk little bit about this. So this ring is oximeter again. You have seen bulky oximeter, which I have shown yesterday as an example. It is just like a clip. You need to wear that clip, and then it will give you the heart parameter as well as your oxygen parameter. But if you see this, it is flexible, transparent electronics. Nowadays, people are working towards flexible, transparent electronics. How it is being developed? These all rigid components, earlier you used to see that any electronic device will have a chip sort of device, will have pins, will have power supply connectors, will have lot many jargon of wires, and then only you will be able to get something to be monitored. But if you see this simple device, there is no wire, there is no pin being connected, and you feel that it is some sort of skin or a film, transparent film being converted into a ring shape. This is what today consumer electronics looks like. How these are developed, I'll talk in some other day. But right now, we are talking about how that oximeter has been advanced in such a way. So again, in place of one green LED, here two green LEDs are used. In place of one red LED, two red LEDs are there. In place of one photodiode, two different photodiodes are used. So these are not LEDs, but these are OLEDs. Similarly, OPDs. So you must be able to get it. What is the difference between LED, OLED, and photodiode and O photodiode? These are organically developed. So very specific. Power consumption means if you connect a battery, years together the battery may last long. Again, if you see this diagram, if top A diagram is that flexible electronics ring is placed in the finger to monitor your heartbeat and your oxygen at a click of a button, and this click can be interfaced with your device, display device, maybe a mobile phone. So you need not to have anything extra. You will be able to get your all readings through a mobile phone. It means you need to have a wireless connection with this device. When it is operating in Bluetooth mode, 2.4 gigahertz device is there. It means inbuilt 2.4 gigahertz is transceiver system is there in your device, in your electronics, in your mobile set. That is fine. But here also you will find that there must be a complete transmission device, transmission system in this oximeters, and you can just imagine how miniature it is being developed, how simple it is being developed. So it means there may be a wireless link using your Bluetooth, using your Wi-Fi, which can connect to your mobile phone, and then mobile phone display can be used, and with this mechanism the patient is free to move anywhere, or the person whose monitoring is to be carried out is free to move anywhere. These are known as flexible, transparent, wearable sensors. This is one example, and it works on optical principle. It is a optical device. Now let us go a little bit more in detail with these graph C, graph D, and a figure B. I think by this time you must be able to correlate your transmission coefficient, how the transmission coefficients are able to give you the reading. See here, this is an incident light, red, absorbed light. So when the incident light is traveling through these, there may be a refraction, there may be a reflection, there may be a attenuation. These all phenomena, there may be a scattering. These all phenomena are taking place. You will see that whenever pulsating is there, that part I denote AC. Whenever steady state is there, that part I denote DC. So AC upon DC divided by AC part upon DC will give you the oxygen intake. So now it is clear that what is AC, what is DC. If you see a C diagram here, you will find that there is a line of what color I say, blue. There is a line of pink. So pink is 1 nanometer. This blue is light of another nanometer wavelength. If you see this response, as I said yesterday also, the absorption coefficient is different for one wavelength. Similarly, absorption coefficient is different for another wavelength. So taking reference of one and computing other, taking reference of second and computing other is what we are going to measure it. So that it has become very simple. Otherwise, if we take only one reading and then you take second reading and do not take any reference, so there is a chance that they will be able to get errors. But in this way, because during calibration you are taking ratio, you are not taking absolute values. So because of ratio, if you set to any of the initial value, you will be able to get exact value of that. As he is using 2 LED, it means one additional parameter he is measuring with other device. It means it has taken a shape of MIMO, it has taken a shape of array, and then weighted function is computed. In place of 2, if he is using 4, 5, 6, 7 many LEDs, definitely he is going to enhance the weighted function more accurate, and more accurate reading will be there in this. This is how your HB and HbO2 is absorption is measured and then computed and given to the display, so that you are able to get your reading perfectly. So what I want to conclude in this particular device, that it is a flexible, transparent, wearable electronics which is being much useful to consumer electronics of present era. So people are going in electronics industry towards these flexible consumer electronics. It means the worldwide the IoT is going to take your shape, and the IoT vision will be of this sort. Your all IoT will be built with flexible plastic substrate or flexible transparent consumer electronics. So I have given you a vision that what will be the future of electronics. Your TV is going to be replaced with this sort of TV. It means you will have a film, and on that particular film all the components will be mounted, integrated and displayed. You can just fold your film and your TV is wrapped up. You need not to have that bulk and rigid screen mounted on your wall. If you see little back, you need to have a box sort of TV which is having a tube, but now those things are going to be eliminated, eradicated, and they will be replaced by new sort of consumer electronics that is flexible, transparent, and wearable. You can wear your TV on your palm top. You can wear your TV on your jacket. So this is what consumer flexible electronics is going to take place. So this is one example I have taken and shown you as a oximeter. Let us see next. This is basically mathematics of your electronics, which they have used to compute absorption. Now on your band there were two different color LEDs you have seen. These are these. One is this is one OLED. So OLED basically looks like this. It has ink, it has ITO coated glass at the bottom. It means if you identify a particular ink, it will act like a metal. So all your transistors, all your diodes, all your ICs are going to be developed in this particular pattern. If you see, there is a opto IC, there is a opto coupler available in almost all circuits that is rigid black, and one window is left in that particle, so that using optics the switching functions takes place. But now those rigid components will no more will be available, and those will be replaced by this sort of devices. So how it looks like, if you see figure A, figure B. The fabrication of your flexible electronics will be very simple. If you see a LED of this nature, that will be termed as OLED, and OPD, fabrication and physical device structure. The OLEDs are fabricated on single glass substrate using spin coating. The OPDs are fabricated using blade coating as a pen substrate. Figure C and D, the physical structure of OLEDs and OPDs respectively will look like. It means the future of electronics is not of lathe machines, not of I'm not able to recall, there's no lithography. Of course, future of the fabrication will be based on lithography and nano fabrication. How we are going to do? And inkjet, 3D inkjet printers. These devices will be fabricated by using 3D inkjet printers. Ink of special category will be used as a metal coating, and these all gate, your source, your drain will be fabricated by using ink of different category. So your HEC, encapsulation of glass, encapsulation of epoxy, LIF, AI cathode, TFB, F8BT, TFB electron blocking layer, PSS, ITO coated glass. If you capsulate in layers, then it will act as a OLED. Then if you see PET, encapsulation epoxy, amorphous fluoropolymer, AI, PC70BM, Nephon or PSS, conducting PSS, PAN. If these layers are formed in this order, it will act as a photodiode, OPD. So this is how your LED and photodiode are going to shape. You can just imagine a LED which you are using at 1.5 volt and having milliampere of current. if that LED is replaced by this OLED, the power consumption is being minimized huge. The spacing requirement is to be miniaturized huge. So this is how your consumer electronics, using flexible tapes, using flexible screens, using flexible films are going to be developed, and only different ink or inkjet printers are going to be used. And specifically, if you devise a design, you can replicate using inkjet printers absolutely identical. That is a big beauty of these devices which are being printed on a screen. This we have already seen how a device is being, I need not to repeat it again, I think you are familiar with. This you have seen. This also I need not repeat, you have seen. This also, both comparison I made, you have seen. Laser as a source, I think we have broadly categorized. This is LED, how light is being emitted, but there is a physics behind this, that how LED is emitting light. I think if I see, I'll compare this laser source with my structure. Let us say whether I, okay, this is how a transistor will look like. If you use inkjet printing, there are different layers. Kapton is transparent substrate. This is how your writing is being done on the films. There is a laser. With the help of laser, this is a silicon wafer, you can write. So this is nothing but a antenna of small frequency is being developed here, which is used to receive radio, etc., etc. Okay, now next topic I was trying to introduce you today is polarization. How many of you